Fall equinox, Mabon, the time of year where the great wheel of time is turning and creating liminal space for us to explore where we sit between equal parts dark and light. Today's video is all about how to truly enter the harvest season of your soul, of your body, of your life. Let's go. Hello, I'm Taverly. I'm the founder of the Moon Temple Mystery School, a high priestess and a practicing witch. And I'm also deeply connected to the time of year that we're going to talk about today, which is the fall. As the holiday of Mabon and many other traditions begins in this liminal space where we are going from the heat of the summer into the quiet of the fall as we prepare for the dark season. And it's such an amazing time to do your own personal harvesting, to reflect back upon the year of what you have accomplished so far, the lessons, the growth, the journey, the magic, all the things that you've experienced, and bring forward what you are most grateful for, because that allows you to build the foundation for what's coming next. So today I have a really exciting video for you. And for those that are might be listening to the audio version, you can always hop over. I'm on YouTube. This is where some of you are seeing me. Hello. And make sure that you subscribe. Wherever you're watching or listening, make sure that you subscribe so I can continue to bring you up-to-date shows whenever they come out. And all things Mystery School can be found at moontempleschool.com. If you're here with me, you probably know that, and all my social media links are below. So make sure that you find me, tag me in any of your own rituals or your own works this time of year. And I will be taking you on a journey today. At the end of this video, I'm going to lead you through an exploration, a guided process to really look and evaluate what your life has brought for you so far this year, and how to take the nuggets out of what you've learned and bring them forward. So that's what we're going to do today. And don't forget that this is a time of year to celebrate. Most traditions, it doesn't matter what tradition you're in, whether you identify as a witch or not, or whatever you practice, there is a time of year for the harvest. There's time of year for us to prepare for the dark times ahead. And dark isn't necessarily bad. Dark is just less light. If you think of darkness as the absence of light, it just means that in most parts of the world, or actually the parts of the world I reside in, most of where you are from, we are going to be moving into less sun, more nighttime. And for the other part of the world, you're going to be moving into more sun. So you can think of this, everything that I'm sharing with you, kind of as the reverse if you live in the other part of the world where this is spring equinox for you. Because there are many people here who really know and honor the fact that when the great wheel of time turns between seasons and you move with the rhythm of the earth, that this time that we move from one season to another creates a void. I call this liminal space. It's a void. It's a place where you can go to explore anything that you desire. And it's also a time when the veil is really thin between the human world and the spirit world. So it's a powerful time to not only celebrate what you've done so far, but to truly honor where you sit within the veil between the human world and the spirit world. And if you desire to reach out to your ancestors or to your spirit guides, it is very smooth to do so now. And so the journey I'm going to lead you on today isn't to connect with your ancestors or spirit guides, although I do recommend that you find one of those videos because I do lots of them, or join me in the Spellbinders Club because I will definitely be including a journey very soon about how to cross the veil easily back and forth. And if you have ever done any of my 5 days of crossing the veils, I've put all of those videos in 30 Days of Witch School. So you can check that out in the comments as well. So today we're going to focus on when we journey, we're going to focus on what it's like to experience and visualize your own harvesting process. And I'll talk about that a little more as we get closer. But first, let's talk about the tradition of Mabon. There are many different paths and traditions that work with Mabon. And as a Celtic priestess, as an initiated Celtic priestess, I walk with the tradition of Mabon as being a time of truly being comfortable to sit within yourself, in what you are harvesting, where you have grown, and also to celebrate the fact that the earth is turning and the earth is preparing to go into a deep sleep, and to prepare yourself to really be able to sit in the dark. And we start to slow down a little bit. We start to slow down spiritually, just like the earth starts to slow down. The growth, again, at least in the Western Hemisphere, the growth of plants, the growth of our vegetation slows down. The trees slows down. So does our bodies. And that doesn't mean that we're going to necessarily work less. That doesn't mean that we're going to do less. It just means that we can honor the pace at which nature is moving and work within it. And of course, celebration. It's a beautiful time of year to bring the closest relationships that you have together and have a feast. Find a local farm, find a local farmer's market that is providing, or if you've grown your own, providing vegetables of the season and flowers of the season, and come together. And I invite you to be intentional about it. Create intentional conversation in your celebrations, or even just dinner with your family or your friends. Bring intentional conversations into those gatherings around what you're most grateful for that you've experienced this year. Where have you expanded? Where have you allowed yourself deep contraction inward to learn? Where have you allowed the sun to light up the parts of you that have maybe been kept in the dark for a little while? And we know that this has been a fast-paced, energetic year. And I've been talking about this since before the beginning of the year. And we know that this is actually what's happened, is the year has brought increased momentum as time has gone on. And many of us cast our wheels at the end of the year for the year ahead. And many of us have gone into this year knowing what is coming, because we, work with the quantum energy and the quantum fields, and we look ahead, and then we bring in medicine to help support what we see. So regardless of your path or tradition, what have you really learned this year? Where have you grown? Where have you felt yourself in alignment? And what were you doing to be in alignment? And what took you out of alignment? What did it feel like to be out of alignment? And how did you find your way back? And that's what I mean by growth. And what challenges did you face? And how did you overcome them? How did you remember your power, your center, the resting of your nervous system? What magic, what rituals, what spells did you use this year to hone in on what you truly desire? These are the things that I mean when I talk about harvesting, because these lessons, these experiences that we've had so far this year, we can bring them more deeply into our body to help us remember the next time something comes up that we've learned. It's like a tool, or let's say a flexing of a muscle. We flexed our muscles this year when we grew. And so knowing that we have new layers of muscle to call upon when we need them again is really potent when you take the time to reflect and honor what has occurred and how you got through it. And sometimes we just got through it by throwing things out the window, setting shit on fire, burning bridges, ending relationships. This has been a lot of this year. I know, because I work with so many people. We have taken a lot of drastic actions this year to deal with this fast-paced energy, and also to handle where we're at now. Like our new baseline in 2023, our new baseline for what feels like a yes and what feels like a no, for most people changed. And I'm talking about in your body. What your body feels like is a yes and what your body feels like is a no has changed for many people this year. In fact, I suspect if you're watching this or listening to this, you can immediately feel, oh yeah, I remember that new boundary that I put in place this year, because I learned that didn't feel good anymore. What used to feel good doesn't feel good anymore. And I learned that this over here actually feels really good. So I do more of that. This is where we can truly, truly dive into honoring growth, change, lessons, and challenges. And if you feel like that maybe left you a little bit adrift, meaning the structure of what you thought you knew has changed, then how much deeper can you surrender to stepping into more of your purpose in the dark season? How much deeper can you surrender, even if you don't know? How can you do that? And that itself is a powerful journey or an exploration to go on. Now, we know that the fall equinox in our hemisphere, my hemisphere, is September 21st. I like to think of pretty much September 15th till the end of the month, we are in that space. The peak of equal parts day and night will be around September 21st. And so on and around that date, a ritual that I recommend you do is, and I did share this, I think this is coming out in my newsletter, so if you're on my list, you will have gotten this. And if you're in the Spellbinders Club, you're going to get even additional rituals to do both outdoors and indoors, one in the light, one in the dark. But honor where you see yourself in light and dark, because we are both. We're not one or the other. And during this liminal time, it's like the veil parts for us to have more clarity on our own truth. So maybe you set a black candle and a white candle. This is the ritual I shared in the letters from Toverly. A black candle and a white candle and papers in front of it, and sit by yourself in contemplation and allow each of those light and dark feelings to come forward and journal on them, write them out. Ask yourself, what do I love the most about the darkness within me? What do I love most about the light that I bring forward? How does the dark experiences that I've experienced in this life support me bringing forward more light? And how does the light within me support showing more people how to shine in their own darkness? That alone in itself is so powerful to do during the equinox of any time, spring or fall, because this equal parts of dark and light that's happening on our planet, it is such an interesting energy. It's very reflective. And for me, it's very celebratory, because I always think, wow, I made it through that last cycle and here I am. I know more. I've grown more. I have more knowledge, more wisdom. I love being able to acknowledge that I have more knowledge and more wisdom than when this season started. And most of the time I'm like, holy shit, that went by fast. I cannot believe we're here already. And I know that the dark season, the winter, the time where things get a little slower, I also very much welcome that time, because I feel very comfortable sitting in the dark, and I feel very comfortable letting myself slow down and go slower, even if it's just inside in my own feelings. I like to allow myself to slow it down a little, especially when the energy on this planet is fast. I like to slow it down. So those are my recommendations. Celebration. What are you harvesting? Do your harvest rituals. Cast a circle and bring the bounty of what you have created this year into an altar, the center of your table, and celebrate. Bring joy to what you've experienced. And now let's do a journey. Let's journey to experience your own personal harvesting. So a journey for me is a shamanic type practice of a visualization process and allowing your imagination to run free. So what I'll do is put you in a relaxed state and then lead you somewhere and provide cues for the visuals to appear. Many people that journey with me, many people journey with me, go somewhere very different than where I've led them, and that's totally fine. Some people in journey space get so relaxed and comfortable that they fall asleep and they feel like they messed it up, and you cannot mess it up. It's still happening. So if you're driving or doing something else, I recommend you pause and you come back. This is around 15 minutes into this video. I recommend that you come back and do it at a time where you can sit in stillness and you allow yourself at least 10 more minutes from here to be able to journal everything that you experienced, and everything matters. Everything matters in a journey. And you might not know what it all means now, but when you note it down immediately after the journey, you are much more likely to be able to decipher the meaning of the messages over time, not usually right away, but over time, if you've written it down and you have the ability to come back to it and look at what you experienced during that time. And of course, draw it if you can, paint it, create a visual of your experience, anything that feels right for you. Okay, so for part of this journey, my eyes will be closed. For part of it, my eyes will be open. You are welcome to get yourself into a comfortable position and not worry about anything other than being right here and right now. You don't need to see me. You only need to be able to hear me. So finding a comfortable place, whether you're sitting or lying, letting your body get heavy wherever you are. Starting to take a couple of deep breaths in your nose. Letting your shoulders drop, your chest, your upper body, and your neck relax. Letting your legs and your ankles and your feet get heavy. Another deep breath. And as you exhale, letting all the muscles of your body relax even deeper. Another deep breath. Good. Now I want you to begin to pay attention to the space between your breaths. The pause at the end of the inhale, the pause at the end of the exhale. And let that space become a little longer. And as we prepare to journey to your own harvest season, I invite you to hold the intention of gratitude for your growth, gratitude for your own harvesting, gratitude for being right here and right now, exactly where you're meant to be. There's nothing for you to do. There's no place to be other than right here. And in your mind's eye, I want you to picture that you are standing in a field full of crops and flowers, full crops of vegetables, beautiful flowers, ripe trees. In this field, you can feel the crisp autumn air blowing against your face, and you feel the sun shining down on you. And as you look around, you see so much beauty, and you notice that you're alone, and you look down, and to the right of you, you see a small basket with handles. And then you glance up again and you see all the beautiful flowers, almost as if they have gotten a little taller since you arrived. And now you begin to see all of your experiences of this year flashing in front of you as if out of thin air. What you experienced in January and February flash above the crops and the fields, and then they dissipate. And then you look to the left and you see March and April flash in front of you and then dissipate. You look to the right And you see May and June, the memories, the growth, the challenges flash in front of you, and then they dissipate. And as you look around, you see random memories from July and August popping up. And you feel other memories of this year continuing to flash in front of you. And in amazement, you notice that for every memory that appeared, a flower got taller. And you look to the right and you see that field of crops growing even higher beneath the memories that came. And you look again to the left and you see the fields expanding and growing with every memory that came to you. You take a moment to sit next to this basket, surrounded by this beautiful field after field of flowers and crops that seem to just be getting larger with every memory that you experience. You decide to grab this basket and walk amongst the crops and the flowers and pick the ones that feel so good. You might reach down and run your hand along the plants or the flowers, and you feel them vibrating under your fingertips. And you take some of the flowers and put them in the basket. You see big, beautiful vegetables growing off vines, and you take them and you put them in your basket too. And you keep walking through these fields, collecting parts, collecting plants, collecting and collecting. You look down in your basket and you notice that it appears to be filled with so much beauty. And you remember that all of those grew from the memories that you remembered. Once your basket is full, you return back to your place in the center of the field, and you hold the basket against your heart in gratitude of so much beauty. And when you're ready, you can begin to return to the here and now. I recommend you roll your shoulders a little, move your body, maybe you stretch a little, roll your neck. You may even feel as if your arms still hold this basket. You might feel the weight of the basket, of the beautiful things that you picked, the vegetables, the fruits, the flowers, the plants, all that grew under what you remembered about yourself. And making sure that you return to the here and now. I'm actually going to clap 3 times, so if you're not fully back in your body, this might be a little jarring, but I'm going to give you a warning that it's coming. If you're not feeling fully centered yet, make sure you take time to return to your body before you do anything else. And then when you're ready, grab your journal, grab a paper and pen or pencil, and write down not necessarily the memories. I wouldn't focus on the memories. I would focus on the items that you put in your basket. What were they? What did they represent? What did you experience in the journey? Everything matters, and you can't do it wrong. You cannot fuck it up. Note down how you feel, taking with you the parts that you're most grateful for. And then write a note to each of those parts of yourself or whatever you experienced just in gratitude. that you're here now, that you get to take those lessons, those teachings, those nuggets, that wisdom with you moving forward. So I wish you a wonderful time of year of honoring the light and the dark within you and harvesting everything that you've experienced this year. Make sure that you subscribe for more and find all the information in the notes of this show. And I'll see you when I see you, when I see you. Thank you for joining us today. On any of your favorite listening apps, we would really appreciate a rating and review. And if you're looking for more information, make sure that you go to moontempleschool.com and you can find us there.